G'day guys and welcome back to your English Aussie. Today we're going to go through the best defenders, midfielders and forwards to buy for Game Week 5, and we're going to do a bit of discussion around wildcard and free hit teams and strategy going forward for the rest of the season. So strap on your boots and let's jump straight into the video. First up in the defensive section, we do have Virgil van Dijk of Liverpool. Liverpool have had a really good start to the season. 4 wins out of 4, 2 clean sheets, and Virgil van Dijk has picked up 50 defensive contributions so far, the second most of any defender, and looks like he could be a great pick for both bonus, DEFCON, and also has those potential for goals from corners. He is a threat for a Liverpool team. Liverpool have a really nice fixture run going forwards over the next 5 game weeks with Everton, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Man United and Brentford over that next 5. And I think Virgil van Dijk looks a really nice set and forget pick into the defence going forwards. Next up on my list, I do have Gabriel and Calafiori, which also could be Jurrien Timber of Arsenal. I think all of the Arsenal defenders here are fantastic picks for the upcoming game weeks. If you can get past that Manchester City fixture in Game Week 5, Arsenal's fixtures are fantastic from Game Week 7 onwards, and they are one, if not the best, defence in the Premier League at the moment this year. Calafiori with 1 goal and 2 assists so far this season, 3 clean sheets for Arsenal out of 4 games so far. And Jurrien Timber also with a couple of goals and an assist in those fullback positions. Note that Gabriel is the most nailed defender for Arsenal going forwards, as I do expect Calafiori and Jurrien Timber to rotate with Lewis Skelly and Ben White as the Champions League fixtures come in for Arsenal. Next up on this list is Daniel Munoz of Crystal Palace. 3 clean sheets so far for Crystal Palace means I've also got Maxime Lacroix in here. Munoz at 5.6 million is in there for those sort of attacking returns as well. Although, given that Palace have not had a lot of possession so far this season, he hasn't managed to pick up the attacking returns that we would have liked from him for that 5.6 million price point. Lacroix, on the other hand, has been a DEFCON magnet so far this season with 43 defensive contributions so far and picking up DEFCON on multiple occasions. Given that Palace have actually the lowest percentage possession in the Premier League so far over 4 games, that does mean they are involved in more defensive actions, and therefore Lacroix does look like a really good option to pick up those DEFCON points for Crystal Palace going forwards. With some nice fixtures over the next 5 with West Ham, Everton and Bournemouth in there, I think Maxime Lacroix looks like a really nice pick for 5 million with those DEFCON and clean sheet potential. Into the tier 2 buy section, and we do have Romero and Van de Ven of Tottenham. Tottenham have been going really well defensively so far with 3 clean sheets out of 4. Van de Ven with 1 goal and Romero with an assist as well. With the fixtures coming up for Spurs, apart from Brighton in Game Week 5, they do have Wolves, Leeds, Aston Villa and Everton, who all do tend to struggle to score goals and look like a really fantastic fixture run for Tottenham. If you are looking to go into their defence, I do like Romero and Van de Ven a little bit more than a Pedro Porro, given that the attacking returns that he has managed so far this season have not been enough for me to justify his 5.6 million price point at the moment. Next up on this list, we do have Senesi of Bournemouth at 4.6 million. He's had 2 clean sheets so far and is an absolute DEFCON monster. 55 defensive contributions, the most in the whole of the Premier League so far. He could be a really nice rotation defender at 4.6 million to pick up those defensive contributions when you need an additional player in your squad for a game week. Next up on the list, I do have 2 4.0 million defenders with Alderete of Sunderland and Joe Rodon of Leeds. I think these 2 guys have some really nice fixtures over the next 5 game weeks. And at 4.0 million, they could be your 5th defender on the bench that both look like they could be picking up DEFCON. These are the 2 options that I would look at from a 4.0 million price point going forwards. Onto the hold section, and we do have James Tarkowski of Everton. He does continue to pick up those defensive contributions. Although Everton have a tricky fixture run with Liverpool and Man City and Tottenham in their next 5, if you do have Tarkowski, you could be leaving him in there, as I would expect him to be picking up DEFCON in all of those fixtures. And if Everton do manage to keep a clean sheet, he could be on for a really big haul. Next up on those list is Milenkovic and Murillo of Nottingham Forest. Although I've been disappointed with Nottingham Forest defensively this season and with the appointment of Ange Postecoglou, I do expect their defensive numbers to go down a little bit. I would look to hold these Nottingham Forest defenders for the next 2 game weeks, where they do play both Burnley and Sunderland, the new promoted teams, and look to pick up some clean sheet points, hopefully, over that period. I think Murillo has been a bit of a letdown from a defensive contribution perspective. He hasn't picked up the numbers that we have seen from him last season. And now with a change in manager, I would look to be moving out of these Nottingham Forest defenders after game week 6 and potentially into some Arsenal defenders for a really nice fixture run from game week 7 onwards. And the sells on my list here are both Aït-Nouri and Guardiola of Manchester City. They do have Arsenal in game week 5 before going on a nicer fixture run. However, Aït-Nouri does look like he's out for the next 4 to 5 weeks. And Guardiola as well hasn't been getting the games that we have expected through injury, and looks like he is playing in that centre-back position when he is fit and available for Manchester City. Quick shout out, if you guys have been enjoying this content so far, please remember to give a like to the video, subscribe down below to the channel. It does really help small content creators like myself continue to keep going, and I do really appreciate all the likes, all the subscribes, and all the comments that you guys do give below on the channel. Thank you so much, and let's get straight back into the video. Moving on to the midfielders, and first up, I do have Cody Gakpo as a tier 1 buy for Liverpool. Liverpool have a really nice fixture run over the next 5 weeks. I think the ball clearly, as we can see from the Liverpool's games, has been being shared around far more this season than in previous years, where they did fixate themselves down the SALAH on that right-hand side. Wirtz has been peeling over to the left and has been working in tandem with Gakpo quite nicely so far this season. As you can see from the touches in the opposition box, touches in the offensive third, Gakpo is right up there with Salah and has been getting an equal share of the ball at 7.7 million. I think he's a really nice way into this Liverpool midfield for such fantastic fixtures going forwards. Next up on the tier 1 buy category is Antoine Semenyo of Bournemouth, and I know many of you have heard lots of commentary from me on Semenyo in the past. I do think his finishing is not the best in the Premier League, but the positions he's been getting himself into have just been fantastic for Bournemouth, and I do have to concede, I think he is a brilliant pick going forwards. With the penalty that he took this week, despite Evan Nilsson being on the pitch, I think if he does continue to get them, given that Justin Kluivert hasn't been on the pitch and hasn't played too many minutes so far, Semenyo is just a must-have in your fantasy team at the moment at 7.5 million. With the offensive output that Bournemouth produce, with their sort of rock and roll offense, I really like to get Semenyo into the team to make the most of those attacking potential. On to the tier 2 buy section, and we do have a surprising Brian Mbeumo of Manchester United. I have been watching Manchester United quite a lot. I think Mbeumo has been a standout player for them. He has been the one running in behind the defence. Lots of attacking touches, lots of shots on goal, lots of touches in the box for Manchester United. I think he's a real key player for them, and someone who I do expect to pick up more points as the season go on, and Manchester United do get some better fixtures from game week 6 going forwards with Brentford, Sunderland and Brighton over the next 5. I think Mbeumo could be a nice pick before he starts to blow up. Next up on this list is Xavi Simons of Tottenham. Watching the Tottenham game this week, I thought Xavi Simons looked really nice in there for Tottenham at 7 million. 70 minutes. He did play a little bit on the left wing and come inside into those central areas as well. He did pick up 1 assist for them. With Tottenham's fantastic fixture run, I think he could be a really nice pick going forwards. Next up is Enzo at 6.6 million. Probably one of the best options that I like at the moment for Chelsea with some fantastic fixtures. He will be playing alongside Cole Palmer as he now comes back from injury. But Enzo has really made a point of getting into the box for Chelsea and getting on the end of some of those crosses and offensive threats. He is also on set pieces and corners from one side, especially when Reece James is not on the pitch for Chelsea. So I do expect Enzo to continue to pick up those attacking returns. 2 goals and 2 assists already so far this season. Expected goal involvements per 90 of 0.61. And he has been picking up some bonus points and good on BPS so far this season. I think Enzo is a really nice pick at 6.6 million. Next up in the midfield is Kevin of Fulham. He did come off the bench in that Leeds game for a 14-minute cameo, but looked absolutely fantastic for them. The Brazilian was working his magic, almost scored an absolute wonder goal. Really looked like he could cause some problems and could be an attacking threat. Some reasonable games for Fulham over the next 3 before their fixtures get a little bit harder in 8 and 9. And then they do pick up again in game week 10. If you can jump on Kevin at that 6.0 million price point, he could be a really nice pick and a differential at that price before he could take off for Fulham. Next up on the list is Reinders of Manchester City. Now with Cherki and Marmoush both injured for Manchester City, Reinders was really playing that almost Enzo Fernandez role for Manchester City, where he pushed on really high into the box, running on behind Haaland, and was really good in that Manchester City game. Almost got himself a goal, was very unlucky not to. Thought he played fantastically again for Manchester City, and with a really nice run of fixtures after the Arsenal game in game week 5. If you can afford to wait one more fixture before bringing him in, I think he could be a real fantastic pick from game week 6 onwards for Manchester City. Moving on to Pape Sarr at 5 million. Now, he was someone that I did discuss on my live stream last week, talking about how he is the guy who runs off those first ball flicks for Tottenham when teams do press them high and they play long out of the back. Sarr is the one running on behind the winger and the striker for Tottenham and looking to get on the end of those flick-ons and get in behind the opposition defence. He did manage to get a goal this week off a corner as well, showing he is a threat also from those set-piece situations. At 5 million, I don't think there's really anybody else as nice at that price point. I think he's even a better pick than Kieran Dewsbury-Hall for Everton. With those fantastic Tottenham fixtures going forwards, I think Pape Sarr could be a really nice pick. Into the hold section, we do have Mo Salah of Liverpool at 14.5 million. If you've got him in, I would hold him for 1 week longer before maybe switching out for game week 6, bringing in Erling Haaland and moving down to perhaps a Cody Gakpo, who at 7 million less looks just as good as a pick in that Liverpool side. Next up is Cole Palmer. Thought he looked fantastic for Chelsea coming on after his injury. He was the game changer really for Chelsea this week. Really picking up some fantastic positions, getting his goal, looking very dangerous. If you do have him, I think I would keep him in the team for the next few fixtures, as Chelsea still have some nice fixture runs going forwards. Next up, Florian Wirtz of Liverpool. I would hang on to him just for this Everton game before maybe switching again to a Cody Gakpo for some additional price into your team. I think Wirtz has still been picking up some great positions for Liverpool offensively, getting into the box, being in some nice positions. A little bit unfortunate to not really get any returns so far. I think he is still acclimatising to the physicality of the Premier League, but will improve as the season goes on. If you're not willing to wait, you can look to get rid of him. Next up is Kaoru Mitoma at that 6.4 million price point. I just don't think there's that many fantastic value for money options around there, and I would look to keep him a little bit longer, as I do like the Brighton attacking patterns under Hertzler, and Mitoma is a key man in their side, having played 352 minutes out of the 360 available so far, and picking up 1 goal and 1 assist. Next up is Elliot Anderson of Nottingham Forest at 5.5 million. I still think he's fantastic value for money. He's been brilliant for DEFCON, although not quite getting to those 12 on a few occasions. Did finally get the DEFCON contribution points this week against Arsenal. Still on set pieces, still getting into those attacking positions for Nottingham Forest. And under Ange, I do think that he might be able to provide some more of those goal and assists that we have been looking for Elliot Anderson going forwards. He's been in great form, not just for Nottingham Forest, but also for England. Looks like a fantastic player and hopefully can show that he is also a good FPL option going forwards at that 5.5 million price point. Into the sell section, we do have Bukayo Saka, who is still struggling with that injury for Arsenal. Someone that potentially I'd be looking to bring in game week 7 when their fixtures get a bit better. and Yuri Tielemans of Aston Villa is a sell for me. Not sure what the hype was at the beginning of this season around Tielemans, but he really hasn't lived up to it, and Aston Villa have been looking poor so far. Quick shout out and reminder, if you have been enjoying this content so far, please remember to give it a like. Subscribe down below to the channel, really does help small content creators like me. Let's dive straight back into the video. On to the forwards, and we do have the main man, Erling Haaland, up front. 14.1 million, 5 goals so far this season. He looks like a must-have in your fantasy team. Difficult fixture this week against Arsenal. If you don't have him at the moment, you can wait one more week, but I would look to definitely have him in your side for game week 6 against Burnley. I think Manchester City will be difficult to stop, especially if Burnley try to play a low block and give them the possession that they gave Liverpool this week. Next up is Jean-Philippe Mateta, a really nice fixture against West Ham in game week 5. I still think he's a fantastic pick for Palace. After Liverpool, they do have Everton and Bournemouth before a difficult game against Arsenal, but I do think at that 7.6 million price point on penalties for Crystal Palace could be a really nice pick going forwards. In the tier 2 buy section, I do have Gyökeres of Arsenal at 9 million. He got himself another goal this week. Arsenal fixtures look like they're going to be picking up from game week 7 onwards for West Ham, and Gyökeres might be the man to drive them onwards towards that league title. Next up is Ekitike of Liverpool. I think he's still a nice pick as they ease Isaac into the Liverpool team. I think Ekitike is still good to go, especially for game week 5. Potentially game week 6, you may look to move him onwards if Isak does come into the team. But I would wait until I see Isak starting consistently for Liverpool before I look to move out of Ekitike, as he has been involved in so much of the Liverpool play. I think he's looked a really fantastic player for them. Next up is João Pedro of Chelsea. Keeps picking up returns. 2 goals, 3 assists so far. Chelsea have some great fixtures still coming up. João Pedro looks like a must-own for me in that Chelsea side. Next up is Chris Wood at 7.6 million. 2 really nice fixtures for Nottingham Forest against Burnley and Sunderland. Can Ange Postecoglou get the most out of him? I know he did get taken off early the most recent game week, but he is still such an important piece in that Nottingham Forest side. There does look like there will be some rotation as Forest have those European games as well, but I think for the next 2 game weeks at least, Chris Wood is still a buy, and I'd look to have him in my side if possible. Next up is the new man for Newcastle up front, Walter, the 6'6" Musiala Messi, dubbed by many in Germany, gets his goal in his debut for Newcastle, 64 minutes, looked like he could definitely be a threat, and might be a nice pick at 7 million for Newcastle. Will he also be on penalties for them? We don't know. He could look to be taking them as well for Newcastle. Could be a really nice pick at that 7 million price point if he gets flying for Newcastle this season. Next up is Strand Larsen. It does look like he potentially might be available for this game against Leeds. Wolves' fixtures really look like they turned for the up from game week 5. And pre-season, he was someone that I was eyeing up for this game week 5 fixture run going forwards. If he does manage to get fit and get back into that Wolves side, he could be the impetus that they need to start scoring goals. Vitor Pereira has spoken about how he wants Wolves to be attacking. He wants them to go out and try and beat every team. This obviously has been detrimental to them from a defensive perspective, and definitely a team I would look to target. However, offensively, I still think that they are going to score goals when Strand Larsen comes back. Likely that he'll be on penalties for them as well, and at 6.4 million might be a really nice price point pick. In the hold section, I've got Jared Bowen of West Ham, still the key man for West Ham. If you've got him in your team, I would hold him a little bit longer. He could still be picking up goals for West Ham. Evan Nilsson of Bournemouth as well, if you've got him in there at 7 million, it's still at a sort of nice price point and a nice range. The Bournemouth are a very attacking team, and I do expect Evan Nilsson to continue to be a reasonable pick. Although the fact that he is not on penalties, it looks like, when Kluivert's not away, does slightly reduce his appeal for me. However, I would hold him for a couple more fixtures, maybe for the Newcastle and the Leeds game in game week 6 before looking to move him on. In the sell category, I've got Sesko of Manchester United. He has been in my hold for a while, but really doesn't look like he's anything special so far. Man United, again, I think Brian Mbeumo looks like the nicest pick for them. So for me, Sesko is a sell. Yohan Wissa, obviously out for a few weeks with the knee injury. Doesn't look like it's an ACL, or he will be out for a very long time. maybe a few weeks for Newcastle before he comes back, but would still be a sell for me if you do have him. Dom Solanke of Tottenham, not really picking up any minutes for them. With the signing of Kolo Muane, he is a sell for me, alongside Richarlison as well. It does look like those minutes for the Tottenham strikers will be rotated heavily, and therefore, as you can't rely on them, I would look into the Tottenham midfield or defence instead for their nice fixture run. And finally, Beto of Everton. Again, for me, there are much nicer Everton picks in the midfield. Maybe an Ndiaye, maybe a Grealish. Beto, for me, is not the pick to go for, especially with a really tough fixture run for Everton over the next 5 weeks, with Liverpool, Manchester City and Tottenham all in those next 5 game weeks. That about wraps up the defenders, midfielders and forwards for me. A little bit of chat maybe on your wildcard teams and chip strategies. Probably what I would look to go for, play that wildcard maybe in a game week 7 where the Arsenal fixture swings really take off. If you can hold out, if your team's looking nice so far, attack with your transfers, use your transfers now and look to play that wild card around game week 11, game week 12, potentially into a very heavy Manchester City and Liverpool team where their fixtures look fantastic going forwards for a long time. That would be what I'd be looking to do for the wild card. On a free hit, maybe a game week 15 looks like a nice pick for that free hit. If you still have your bench boost available, I think there's plenty of options for using your bench boost. There's not one key strategy that is the clear one to use. You could look to use your bench boost whenever you have a nice bench available and not look to plan for it. A wildcard into a bench boost is still a potential strategy. I do think the optimal team sort of setup does look like having a rotation of 15 players at the moment, as we have such good medium price points in the midfield, medium price points in the defence. You do have the ability to have one 4 million, one 4.5 million defender in there, and a lot of these mid-price midfielders if you do decide to go without some of the big hitters. That's what I'd be looking to do going forwards. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to give a like and hit that subscribe button. It will really help my channel. This has been your English Aussie. Have a fantastic week, everybody, and I will see you later on for a live stream. Catch you later, guys.